Hello, everyone from Neurographica Americas. We are happy to have you here today in the St. Patrick's Day. We understand that most of you probably celebrating, but we're celebrating in our own way as well. With our very unique class, we invited a very special person, Olga Sher. She's an attorney and also president of Antinanka Earth Art School. She's going to talk about her concept of not all schools have walls. And then we're going to do some practice with me as instructor of Neurographica 2018 and the president of Neurographica Americas. I'm going to walk you through the process of how you can work with kids using the concept of not all schools have walls. Let me just welcome you to our school first. And talk about Neurographica Americas a little bit. So our school is dedicated to a very new method called Neurographica. It was born in Russia in 2015 by very talented artist, architect, psychologist, and philosopher, Pavel Piskaryov. The method was born in Russian language, and right now, it became viral all over the world. The method is spreading with the speed of light. And what we see right now, people are teaching in Spanish, people are teaching in French, people are teaching in Hebrew. And we believe right now it's a perfect time to start teaching in English and spread the method all over the world, because we know that most of the world speaks English. Doesn't matter where you are, in China, or if you are in Europe somewhere, in France or Germany, everyone speaks English. And that makes it easier for us to reach out the majority of people throughout the planet of Earth and spread the news, spread the great news that Neurographica is the very powerful way of addressing your inner limitations, working through them, and also modeling your life plan. So that's the whole idea of Neurographica is a method. And we have a school forming. It's still in the process of being formed. It's going to be a non-profit organization. I'm going to be a president of this organization. We have a board of 5 people and 16 active members, participating members, and most of them are instructors and specialists of Neurographica, and some of them are artists that also going to be teaching within our school. The reason we want to spread out the method beyond Neurographica is because we believe that creativity is the major point in this whole approach, this whole methodology. Creativity, appreciation of the beauty, aesthetics, right? And we even call ourselves aesthetic coaches. We really want to spread it as much as we can, and also involve people who work very close with kids. We believe that in our difficult times of technology, where all kids are attached to their phones, to their computers, there is no time for kids to spend time actually using mind-body connection. Mind-body. And it's not only about drawing, it's also about doing some other modalities, like woodworking, or let's say using clay, or traveling to the woods and setting their own fire and trying to learn human skills of survival. We are totally lacking at this point these modalities, because in the modern world, kids don't even know where the milk is coming from. If you tell them milk coming from cow, I don't think 100% of kids would be sure that that's the case. They would question it. So that's the idea for us, to spread the news, bring people who are activists in the movement for kids empowerment, and also artists who are ready to share their modalities with the rest of the world. And today we're inviting, as I said, a very special person, Olga Sher. Olga is an attorney. Olga is the president of Antinanka Earth Art School. And I'm going to come back to stop sharing and come back to major screen. And I'm going to invite Olga Sher. I'm going to pin her to the screen so we can all see this, her beautiful face. And let Olga speak. Olga, welcome. So nice to have you today with us.
Thank you so much, Margarita. Thanks so much for your wonderful introduction and for giving me the opportunity to be here with you today. It's a big honor. Thanks for everyone who's
Same was for us, so you know.
Thank you, Colette. And I love the point that you made about empowering the kids, you know, because that's our passion too. And it's so true, you know, kids nowadays are so different from our generation. They are really bright, brilliant kids, very sharp, much more intelligent, I think, than what we were during our childhood. But they have a different way to communicate. They have totally different modes of interaction. And I think some values being lost there with them not being exposed to all of this real life experiences where a lot of experiencing is happening through technology. So this is what Antinanco does as well, you know, and I think that's a huge connective media between Neurographica art classes and your beautiful organization and Antinanco, because we're kind of working in the same direction. So just to say a few words about our organization, Antinanco Earth Art School, and maybe I can put up a slide now if it's okay, just so you can see. We are not a very usual type of school. We provide education and experiences outside of the classroom walls. And many of our programs take place outdoors and in nature, and all of them take place in a very warm and structured environment, allowing for initiatives, interactions, and experiments. So we teach kids and adults not just through lecturing or feeding them information, but by providing them with a safe container and a very gentle guidance and support where they can come to their own intuitive conclusions and realizations, because there's much more value in that when they go through that process on their own. So instead of teaching them one specific subject like math or engineering or coding, our programs really focus on equipping them with life values and practical skills, developing critical thinking and analysis, developing independent propensity for learning new skills for life, you know, developing that learning mindset so they can employ it through their life during all situations, cooperation and compassion, art of the dialogue and communication, respect for elders, respect for nature. So some examples of the programs are nature explorations, like Margarita mentioned. We do survival training where they would go in nature and build shelters and make fires without matches, adjust to temperatures. Also building, teamwork exercises, cooking, arts. Neurographica classes are a wonderful modality and is one of our favorites. Kids absolutely love it. So this year we offer over 30 programs domestically and 6 programs internationally. And they also include a strong community service component where kids go out and work on community projects and help different communities and also get credit for their schools, for their work. Our programs are not structured by age as many other schools do. This is kind of unusual, and we get a surprising reaction from many parents when we say, you know, it's okay, you know, you can come too. The siblings can come too. There's a lot of value in that, we think. We always encourage parents, grandparents, siblings to come and participate. And the philosophy behind that is twofold. First off, we see a big value in mentorships. I feel that millions of kids across the US can benefit from greater guidance in areas of life and learning. And our elders have such a lifetime's worth of experience, but often they lack outlets through which to share their wisdom with the kids. Because look at our culture, right? The communities are segregated, parents are so busy, kids are busy, all of the structured activities and tutorships. And we're the grandparents. They usually live in over 55 communities, separate, have their own lifestyle. So the opportunities for interactions are very minimal. And that's what we are trying to change a little bit, you know, even if we plant tiny seeds in people's perspective around that subject, we think that would already be very valuable. Like in indigenous cultures, the value of mentorship has always been widely recognized as indispensable part of youth development. So I think we can all benefit from their wisdom. And, you know, when grandparents come to our classes for kids, so much magic happens. It's really, it just like brings tears to the eyes because those interactions are really, really special. The second part of this aspect is that having parents participating along with kids adds an incredible value to happy parenting. Because what is the parenting really about? It's really about connections, right? It's a very dynamic and interactive process, and it constantly morphs and shape shifts continuously as both parents and children grow into it. And sometimes children grow faster than adults. They are much more flexible than us. And sometimes we do, you know, it takes us a much more effort to adjust and adapt. I feel that's why many conflicts between parents and teenagers occur. You know, we love our kids when they're tiny and innocent and helpless, but then they grow up and they tell us, who are you? You know, we want to do things our own way. And we need to be flexible enough to adjust to that. It's not easy. So to establish and maintain strong connections with our kids, we really need to practice this adaptability and patience, of course, and flexibility and the skills of listening. And listening is so important. Like I'm a mom of two, and I often catch myself in situations where one of my kids would come over and start telling me some story or asking a question or sharing something that happened in school. And what am I doing at the time? I'm super busy preparing something or cooking or teaching guests or laundry, whatever. And then I catch myself, oh my God, how much attention am I dedicating to this kid right now? Is it like 5% of my attention or 20% of my attention? I'm not really being present for that. So when this realization comes, the thing that we can do, there are actually two things that we can do. First thing is we can just stop what we're doing and dedicate our full attention to listen wholeheartedly to what it is being communicated to us. Sometimes it's not possible, you know, if I'm driving a car, I need to pay attention to GPS. Then I would make a mental note to come back to this when I can be 100% present. So I can really pay attention to what is happening in the child's life, because apparently it's something important if they decided to share it with me. So classes like Neurographica allow a perfect opportunity for that, because when kids and parents work on the same project, creating art, in the container which does not put any pressure in them, it's so easy for a child to come to share, you know, things start coming true, which usually do not, because there is no space for them in our busy lifestyle. So that's just absolutely wonderful. And another thing I wanted to say, I mean, that's how we instill values in kids. They do not really learn these values in school. I mean, there's very little value in sitting in a classroom and being told you have to be patient, you have to be responsible, you have to be compassionate, because they really model this behavior from us, from their environment. And that is the topic that I raised recently in my group on Facebook, Nature Spirit Children. And many parents gave such great responses to this topic. And you can join if you like Nature Spirit Children on Facebook. That's our group. Yeah, so many good topics are being discussed there. So we are the first channel of instilling those values in our kids. I mean, even with the peer pressure and social media and all of the crazy commercials, we as parents are the most important influence on them. And if the values instilled through this connection and communication and doing things together are strong, kids will grow very grounded and confident, you know, and will be able to withstand all of this outer challenges that they encounter through life. It's another thing with Neurographica and other art classes is that parents can utilize it as modality for questioning process. And the questioning process is one of the best tools to uncover gaps in awareness. And we all have gaps in awareness. Kids have them, adults have them. So it's something that we do not know, you know, things that we do not know. And sometimes we don't even realize that we do not know them. So when we're drawing together with our kids, we can ask questions. We can ask, what is it that you're drawing? Do you know what it will be? And also don't forget the self-expression is a learned skill. Sometimes kids do not know how to start a conversation. So that's another thing. I'm just, you know, digressing. Always important to look for those nonverbal cues with kids, you know. But during the art process, it's so easy to ask these questions and prompt this process of deep sharing. So when we ask that question, what is it you're drawing and what do you think you will be making today? They would not always know, you know, because sometimes we start making something and we have no idea what the end result will be. So at that moment when the child says no, you have hit the edge. You have hit the gap in awareness. And this is the most crucial moment that happens because the child at that moment accepts that he doesn't know something. And here the right question determines everything. It's so easy at that moment to step in within your parenting authority and tell them, oh, I think this would be this, or encourage you to make this and give them all kinds of tips and suggestions. But that's not the value of the exercise. The value of the exercise is gently prompt the child to come to their own realization and to their own decision. So, and that when that happens, that means that the child actually looked at his drawing much deeper than before. So next time when they begin to create something in any kind of a modality, not necessarily just in this modality, the depth of the imprint will remain with them. And that's how we build awareness in humans. So there are lots of great tools in this process. And with that, I will open the floor to Margarita because I know she prepared a very beautiful practice for us today. I'm sorry, I totally forgot to take the screen share off, but hi Cindy, good to see you here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I think we have a chat option here, right, Rita? So people can just type in their
Yes.
responses or questions, and I will let you take over from here. Thanks so much for having me.
Olga, for one second, maybe somebody has a question already. I think it's a wonderful time to ask questions. So everyone, you can unmute yourself and ask Olga anything that might interest you during her presentation.
Thank you. I also posted links in the chat for Antinanko and for our Facebook group, Nature Spiritual.
Yeah, thank you so much, Olga. So you know where to find Olga in case if you don't have questions right now. But if you do, please ask. I hear
Oh,
kids screaming.
they're kids participating. Yay, I'm so happy.
Yay. All right. All right. So let me take the floor from Olga. Olga, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
my
hope
dear.
you're going to stay with us, drawing together. But it was a special treat, really. I appreciate Olga. Olga is a very busy mom and very busy president of her school. So thank you so much. All right. So I'm going to mute everyone again. And I'm going to go back and share with you a short video. I had a class in December at Antinanka Earth Art School where we were drawing Christmas tree. It was a very special class. We had a lot of kids. We had animals walking around the floor, stepping on our drawing. It was just so much fun. And to be honest, again, what Olga said, it's very important that kids and parents work together on a project. And that's exactly what was going on. You're going to see in the short video. You know, there was like so much love, so much sharing. Kids were sharing to adults, and adults were supporting their kids, drawing together. All of this creates this beautiful environment of learning for kids, safe environment. And adults also get feedback from kids, right? They also get appreciation, love. All of this creates this mutual environment of love. And exactly what I'm going to do right now, just to share with you the short video so we can watch it. Let me see where it is. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to share that. 1 second. I prepared, but for some reason it's not showing right now. Okay, let me stop sharing and I'm going to reshare screen. Yes. All right. Let's watch. All right. I hope it was visible to everyone. My stepdaughter actually taped the whole show. She put it together and shared with us. She's going to be a professional filmmaker. I'm very proud of her. So now I think it's a perfect time to get to the practice. All right, so I'm going to be switching my screen. Thank you very much. I'm going to be sharing my screen, my drawing board, and you please prepare a paper. It doesn't have to be professional paper. Any paper you can draw on. Markers and color pencils. For 1 second, I'm going to disappear and reappear again. All right, here's my drawing board, and I hope you are joining with me and you're going to be drawing with me. What I really want to focus today on, how we can actually draw together with kids, right? And it doesn't have to be very complex. It can be very easy way of starting very special communication with kids. And right now I'm sharing an album of pretty large size, right? If you look at that, I'm showing in the mirror way. I'm showing 9-inch by 12-inch. Let me see if I can share like that. Yeah, I mean, it's just the way the camera is set up. It's just like that. But you don't have to really use this large paper. What you could do if you have a large album, you can just tear a page and use just a half of that. Or you could use smaller album and use a smaller paper for smaller kids, because some little kids, they don't have a capacity to hold attention for a long time. So you could use something smaller like that, right? That would give them an ability to focus more. Because sometimes when we have a large paper, they get kind of, well, I don't want to use the word scared, but overwhelmed. And in order for them to stay focused, I would suggest using smaller album or tearing off this paper and cutting it in half, right? And you can make, the cutting is very beautiful, just like that, right? For Mother's Day, kids like to do some projects and making it beautiful and so forth, right? And what you could also do, you could use some toys. You could put toys around. Working on the floor, what I noticed that kids love to do art projects on the floor rather than sitting on their chairs at the table. Some kids love that, but when you do it on the floor, it gets more personal for some reason. And we've seen it in the video from Tinaka. Everyone was sitting on the floor, and kids just totally enjoyed it. It gave them better communication with animals, if you have animals in the house. Beautiful. Cats sometimes come. Cats, for some reason, they love Neurographica. Some of our teachers, they have cats, and they've been posting pictures of cats sitting right on top of Neurographica drawing. What it tells us that Neurographica creates a zone of comfort that even animals can recognize. Okay, so let's just get to the drawing, and I'm going to be using a smaller pad, right? So to give you a total vision of what you can do with your kids. So for that, I've chosen the subject that really I think important to every mother, right? Or father. Me as a mother and my kid, or if kid draws, then me and my mom, or me and my father, right? How can I graphically show connection and see what's going on between two of us, right? It's the simplest way of doing it, but let's say you can make it more complex. You can actually draw the whole family, right? Let me just quickly show you graphically, and then I'll turn the page and we're going to start drawing. But just to show you graphically what can be done here, when I get the focus of my camera, you know, sometimes camera needs adjustment. The simplest way, if your kid is drawing, they can show themselves as a circle, right? And we know the circles are in Neurographica is one of the circle in Neurographic is one of the main figures. And also, it's me, that's what your child would say, and mommy. And mommy. And just I'm showing you the example of how you can do it. Mommy. Right? And you sitting, I'm just trying to adjust the setting because I think it mirrors and it's not exactly what I'm trying to do here. Oh, perfect. I have a good setting now. So Or that's the simplest way of doing it, and that's what we're going to be doing today. But let's say if you have more than one child, right? Kids can sit together. Let's say like Olga, she has two children, a boy and a girl, right? It's me and my brother. Let's say a child can draw her brother or his brother or sister, right? I'm just using example of Olga. Mommy and daddy. Daddy. Right? Can be done like that. If there is a grandma and grandpa, 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 and then grandmother. You see what happens? So everyone in the family can be put into this field of relationship, right? I call it field of relationship, where we could see who relates to who. We can do diagnostic by looking even at this particular drawing. Who is closer to each other? In this case, I just drew a closely knitted family where everyone is closely connected. But I've seen cases when figures are far apart from each other. Or one figure could be small like this, right? It's me, right? For example, and my brother, right? So what it tells us when we see something like this, when the kid looks at her brother as a large figure in her life, it's perfect for small kids to have something like this. But let's say if she's 20 years old, right? And her brother is, let's say, close to her age or even a little bit younger. And if she draws something like this, I would question it. For small kids, it's really perfect. But for kids and their adolescents, I would question this. Same with me and mommy, right? Let me just show you what I've seen. Let me get more paper. What I've seen here in my practice, here's what's going on. Let me get something brighter also. Sometimes we see a woman about 20 years old, right? She's already a woman. She's still a kid, or maybe she's 18. She draws herself like this, right? And then she draws her mother. First of all, you watch your kid, sit together with your kid and see how a kid draws herself and then how she draws her mother. In this case, if she's a little kid, it's acceptable. Why I'm saying it's not perfect? Because there is no crossing. You see the figures are apart. There might be some gap in relationship. Not necessarily. Some kids love their space, their own freedom. They like to be focused on themselves. In this case, it's fine. But in some cases, what I see in my practice, when kids draw figures that are not crossing each other, specifically with their mothers, right? I would see what's going on there. And there's no concern. It's just we need to understand what is in this relationship. Let's say for kids older, right? For small kids, okay. For older kids, she's 18 or 20, or even in her 16, I would say, also it would apply. She draws herself small and her mother is still a large figure for her, right? Yes, it's good. Her mother may be her inspiration. Maybe she draws a lot from her mother, but also we need to watch for something else. Maybe mother has so much authority over her daughter that daughter feels so small, right? So it's a lot of things that we need to kind of like contemplate on, and it may be not necessarily, as I said, have any negative connotation. But this is something that we're always watching for. And let's say we're going to add daddy, right? And if daddy looks like this, comparing to mommy, even for small kids, I would question that. Why daddy is so small? So mother may have a huge authority in the family, and that is almost invisible, right? Something to watch for. And let's say if we have a grandmother who is like this, right? The larger figure in the family is a grandmother. Maybe it's a person who's trying to glue family together. Maybe it is a person who is actually greater in value for kid than anybody else in the family. So I'm just giving you some ideas for diagnostics of relationships. Even with small circles like this, you can already start a thinking process, contemplation, right? What's going on here? And you could ask your child, like, what do you think grandma so large in this drawing? What do you feel about grandma? Oh, grandma is great. She takes care of me. She feeds me. She plays with me. She takes me to trips. I think grandma is really a big person in my life. Why did you draw daddy so small? Oh, because daddy doesn't spend much time with me. Mommy spends most of time with me. That's why I drew my mother's as a large figure, but daddy is always busy at work. Or we could have something different. We could say, oh, daddy, I drew daddy so small because daddy is so cute and sweet, and I like to play with him, but he's not as influential as my mom, right? So those things that we can work through and talk to our kids in the fun way, right? Not making any concerns or not showing anything, just asking questions, right? And for kids also, they through this work, right? Even through simple circles like this, they can already see who relates to who in the family, right? And let's say a brother is here, a brother is here, which is totally fine. That means she's connected. The kid is connected with her brother, right? And everyone actually connected through grandmother. I've seen things like that, and it's just a perfect way of do diagnostics in Neurographica. When we draw circles and we see the relationship on the paper, who relates to who is larger, who is smaller, and there is a way to adjust. There is a way to adjust. Let's say that's the main figure here, right? I would say me, right? I'm a little girl. I'm 7 years old. It's me. It's my big brother, my mother, my daddy, and my granny. Okay? There is a way to adjust. Let's say she may realize she drew herself too small. So when she looks at this setup, she may say, oh, I don't even know why I drew myself so small. There is a way to enlarge in Neurographica. The way we do it, we just continue circling around, enlarging a figure, just like that. She can enlarge herself. And then for coloring, all of this gonna go under color, and you could see like almost enlarge her like in twice. She's almost twice bigger when she originally was. And that's how we can enlarge figures. Immediately, what's gonna happen inside of her when she does it, she's going to feel more expanded. She's going to feel more authority in the family. She would feel immediately then that she can speak up in the family more. So this is something that we should consider as well. And she may realize she drew daddy too small. She may enlarge daddy as well, right? It's very difficult to make figures smaller if you're using markers. But to enlarge figures is totally possible if you need to do so. So I'm just showing you different ways. And again, it's just an introduction. In the school, unfortunately, it's only in Russian at this point, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be translated in English as well. And in our school, we do have a person who's going to be specializing in work with kids. There is a course specialist for kids specifically. And they're teaching a lot of interesting things, how to work with kids, how to do diagnostics using simple figures, and how to establish connection between all family members. Okay, so but today we're going to be doing just, I'm just showing you the glimpse of that because we only have 1 hour, and I just want to show you what you can already do with your kid. And again, I'm using very simple scenario, mother-daughter relationship. Adjusting my camera. Sometimes I need to put something bigger. Oh, all right. Let me just put something bigger, then it adjusts much better. All right. Camera, please. Let's see. Hmm. There is a delay, apparently. Okay. All right. All right. So let's see what you can do. Let's say you sit together next to your child, and I'm going to be that child, right? And my mommy tells me, darling, let's just let's just have some fun project, me and you. And I would say, yes, mommy, sure, I would like to do it. Like, what are we going to be doing? Oh, we're going to be drawing something. Let's see how we love each other. Let's see how we play each other. And the child is curious. Okay, mom, can you show me what we're going to be doing? Um, you could show first. You could draw those circles just to see. Oh, we could draw circles just to see how you feel, how I feel, how we interacting together, how we can see the better ways of interaction. Maybe we can do something together. Let's just have that fun project. And then the kid starts drawing, right? She draws herself. That's me. I'm a kid. I'm like, okay, mommy. And of course, don't expect a small child to draw a circle like that. It takes skills even for adults. In Neurographica, what we're saying, we need to stay closer to the circular shape as much as possible, because some people have tendency to draw eggs, some people have tendency drawing ovals. What we're trying to do is to get to circular shape as much as possible. But kids, small kids specifically, don't expect them to draw a perfect circle, which is okay. Just tell them, try to make it more circular. You can add more lines. Just draw over, right, to make sure that your circle looks more like circle. All right, that's me. All right, and now let's draw mother, right? Let's draw my mom. Okay, all right. Here's my mom. Here's my mom. My mom. All right, so she's gonna draw you, her mom. Again, not, don't expect her to do a perfect circle. And next, what we could do, we could find like approximately center of each circle, right? Just like that. And what we can do, we could, okay, we're looking at this. You notice that they're not crossing. We talked about this, right? That the very a close connection between child and parent. I would just need to mute newly people who just came. We see that the figures are crossing, right? Here figures are not crossing, and it's totally fine. It doesn't mean anything at this point, right? So let's see, and then you tell your child, using simple line, let's see how we connect to each other. And then the child starts drawing. We usually start outside of the circle. Sorry. And we're using neurographic line, right? For people who don't know what neurographic line is a bionic line that looks like a river. It looks like a crown of the tree. And that's what we teach our child. Let's say if child doesn't know how to do neurographic line, I would advise teaching your kid how to draw a neurographic line. It never repeats itself, right? If you notice, like there's no pattern here. And also goes where we don't expect it to see. So the line just goes and it is connected with your breath, the person who draws, right? And it just flows like a river. And you could definitely teach your child how to do that, right? They don't do it perfectly. I notice small children may not grasp the concept. Mostly what we see in small children, they still create patterns. It's okay. Here, the most important is just to see how you guys connect. You know what I see? Sometimes kid can't even bring the line across her mother. There is something I would really think about why she can't. What she starts doing something like that. She connects herself with universe. But what about my mom? Right? Why would she just draw there? We really want to connect. We want to see how it works. And then you could ask her, how does it feel when you draw a line, right, that goes through you and comes to me, your mom? How does it feel? And she may say, oh, it's fun, it's cool. And you could ask your child to name any of those lines, right? When she draws like that, you could say, what are you drawing right now in this line? And she could say, I'm drawing, mommy, probably how much I love you. Oh, that's wonderful. You really want to hear it from, but don't give a hint to a kid. Just ask a kid what exactly she's drawing. Oh, love. And, word love comes right on top of this line, or maybe below, doesn't matter, as long as we see this word. All right, let's draw another line. Let's draw it. What else are you drawing, darling? Fun, mommy, because we have so much fun together. I really want to draw fun. Wonderful, fun. Okay? And that's how but she may be a little bit shy to say about anything. Maybe she feels something. Let's say if mother is working mother and she barely has time to spend time with her kid may not be able to express it, right? You could say, what would you wish to do more with your mom, right? And then she would say, oh, mommy, I wish you could play with me more. Here's a sign, right? That we need to see. Play together, right? What else? I wish, mommy, you could cook more for me like grandmother does. I wish you could do that for me. Great, right? Cooking. What else, darling? What else can we do together more? Oh, I like to go on play dates, Mom. If you could come with me, I would love to go to play dates with you. That's how you do it, okay? And then you could say, let's see what mommy wants more to do with you. Let's see how mommy feels. And then you could take it over from your child and draw from mother's perspective, right? Oh, darling, what I really want you to do to, let's say, if a kid doesn't bring her toys, right, to the right place. Oh, I wish we could clean up your room together and put all the toys in the right spots. I wish we could do that. Do you think we can make it fun together? In most cases, kids would say yes, totally, right? What else I wish we could do together? Oh, you know what, darling, when we do pancakes in the morning, when I do pancakes for you, when I cook them, can you help me making pancakes together? You think that would be fun? Oh, mommy, I'm too small. I don't know how to bake pancakes, but mommy will teach you. You don't have to do the whole thing, but maybe you can help mixing. You can help measuring. Sure, mommy. Okay? And that's how we do it. So your kid draw the part how she feels, what she wants to do more with you. Maybe she may say, mommy, I want to get a pet. I want to get a pet. And you don't really want a pet in the family because you already probably have 3 pets to take care of. And then she say, oh, mommy, yeah, I have my dog and my cat. Now I want to get a bird or a turtle or a snail or anything else, right? All right, darling, we will see when would be the most perfect time to do that. And let's see, are you willing to take care of your pet? And she may say, can we do it together? Well, now you're getting perfect opportunity to get connected to your child through another pet, or maybe connected to your child through existing pets. Let's say, why don't we go and walk our dog together? Maybe you're the only one in the family who does it, but now with the kid together, it will teach your kid skills on how to deal with animals and so forth, right? But you're getting the idea. So my goal was just to get you an idea how you can work through. And here you can add family members, and it can become endless project dealing with the family members, seeing how they're crossing, right? If they crossing right away, it's a perfect sign that heart-to-heart connection is fully established. If there is a small gap, we should see what's going on, why it's a small gap and what's going on, right? If it's a huge gap, let's say child draws herself somewhere here and mother is somewhere here, that I would work more on establishing more close connection, right? And again, when you adding your family members here, and she's adding, oh, I want to add my brother here. And Daddy, why we forgot Daddy? Let's put Daddy. That's fine. Let her continue adding family members. And you can continue in the same fashion. If Daddy's going to join the project, it's even better, right? Then you call your husband and say, hey, Sam, can you join? Can you help out? We want to see how we all communicate within the family. So you could turn it into the family project. Like in Olga's case, she's married, she has 2 kids, right? The whole family can make it so much fun. Draw all 4 of them together, right? And see how they relate to each other. See where they're lacking certain points of interaction. And who else should be added, right? I know in Olga's family, grandmother plays a good role in the family. Maybe grandmother should be added, and let's see how kids feel about grandma. And even grandmother can be invited to the table to draw, right? Or to the floor, because kids love doing it on the floor, right? Together with their pet animals. All right, so what else can we do here now? Now all we need to do is to round the crossings. And that's what we do in Neurographica. Everywhere where we see the crossing, things should be rounded. Things should be rounded. The way we do rounding, let me just quickly show you for people who don't know, right? When we have some crossing lines, all we do is we're adding those half circles, just like that, and then we color. And we do it very neat. We do it very neat, just like that, right? You see, right here. And if for any reason you didn't do it neat and it looks a little bit like this, sloppy, a little bit, we don't kill ourselves for that. And the kids actually, they have a tendency to do this. For kids, it's okay, for small children, right? If she's 12, I would expect her to correct this, right? If she's below 12, it's fine. Leave it like that. You can help her to correct, right? And the way we do it, we just thicken it. We're thickening it at the point of the issue, and that corrects it. Okay, that's how you can correct it. It's okay that the line becomes thicker at the root. It's better to have it thicker than leave angles that are gonna hurt us. When you see something like this, it creates angular kind of a feeling. And angles, as we know in Neurographica, we're using triangles or any other angular object in order to create an action, in order to create nouns that relate to actions like travel, right? Work. We all know that they're all connected to some sort of action. So for that, we just need to smooth it out, because we're not working here on any activities. We're more working on our inner connection with our child, and we're helping child to understand how child relates to her mother, to her siblings, to her grandmother, and even pets can be added here, because pets also part of family, right? So what we need to do here, we need to round the way I showed you. We are rounding not only crossings of the lines, but also crossings of figures, just like that. And in Neurographica, usually we try to round as much as possible. If it's not algorithm of removing inner limitations, I have people here who study at this point, this algorithm. If it's a modeling algorithm, we expect around 80% of rounding. Where in therapeutical algorithms, we expect 100% of rounding. You know, sometimes we're saying 80% for algorithm of removing of inner limitations, but we end up having more than that. That's why I say strive to do 100%, not in this algorithm, therapeutical one, and you'll get your 80. Here I'm saying 80% in order for you to get 75 or 70%, right? Because no matter how hard you try to round everything, what I've noticed in my practice, people miss certain rounding points. So by rounding, and you can round together with your child, let her round and you round as well. Also, what it does, it creates a really neurologically what happens. Your when she rounds her part, right, it makes her to observe whatever happened on the paper on the field of drawing much better, right? And you working on your part here, and then you guys can say, okay, let's switch. Let me round a little bit your part, and you round my part. Neurologically, what happens? We're creating new neurological connections here. And if you name them, love, play together, maybe travel together, have fun, bake some pancakes, cook together, walk your pets, clean the house together, maybe go shopping together, right? When you create this pattern, it becomes a pattern of love. And neurologically, when you're going to be looking at this drawing, it's going to reflect back to you for the mirror neurons. All of us have mirror neurons. And humans, we are all part of the tribe, although in modern society, we're all attached to our phones and computers and so forth, but we're still not losing the human touch at this point. Hopefully it's not going to happen in the future that people totally start getting disconnected from each other. But here what happens, we're really looking at this drawing with all the surroundings together with your child, or maybe the entire family is going to be looking at the drawing. It creates a new field of love. It empowers you. It reflects back to you, to your children, to your grandparents, your children's grandparents. Reflects back as a field of love and activities, creates new neurological connections. If the family is a perfect family where everyone relates so well together, right? If they already have a lot of fun together, if they already do a lot of activities together, it's going to empower them even more. It's going to reactivate, reinforce the neurological connections in order to continue, in order to even further improve the relationship. Okay, and that's why Neurographica is very important here, because through Neurographica, we are basically working on our neurons. And people sometimes questioning me, are you telling me that through this simple practice of drawing the shapes and lines, you can actually change your life? You can actually work therapeutically through relationship issues, or you can empower your kids to do better job at school, in the house, you make them start to clean their rooms? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And the more you draw together, the more you creating certain lines where you define activities together. All the way, not only for the child to her parent, but also for the parent to her child. And also if you have siblings, from siblings to child, to another sibling, guess what? You are building your family for the better future. You're really setting a perfect environment where everyone can interact in the most positive way. Okay? And we continue rounding. Of course, we have limited time. We're not going to be able to finish rounding. And what you can do next, when, let's pretend it's all rounded, and my idea is not to finish the drawing. My idea is to give you understanding of what you can do with this simple method using small album, right? How you can already start working with your child and establishing connections. And you really need to be thoughtful on how you present it without any blame, or like, let's say, darling, you're not cleaning your room. That's why we need to establish connections, so you start cleaning. This is not going to work. More from the positive perspective of love. Yes, I think we can do it together, right? Let's do it together. I think it's going to be so much fun. And then the child will get used to this. And then later, after you guys going to be doing it together, she's going to be starting doing it herself. She will establish enough of neuron connections in her brain in order for her, when she cleans up, it brings sweet memories of her and her mother doing it together. And then all you need to do is just to select certain colors. The warm colors here, like pink, is the color of heart, right? Pink quartz. We know it's used. So if it's a girl, it's nice to have a pink color, right? And we're using girls example. And you just start coloring. And the way we color in Neurographica, we are trying to color several segments. And what we call segment is just a piece of drawing, right? Right here. Every piece that we see that is enclosed in the boundaries of the marker becomes a segment. And all you need to do is once you round everything, right, is to start coloring. And the coloring, the way you could color, you could actually, with the color, create larger figures. And look what I'm doing here. I'm creating a pink quartz flow of love that's coming from your child to you. You see that? That's what I'm doing here. And it can go through you, can start even here somewhere, right? And you need to be, when you color together, try to be neat. Okay, and just go over. You see what happened here? What happened when I started doing it? I created a flow of love, and it goes from your child to you. You could do the other way around using different color. You could use red, probably, right? And create something like this. We're going a little bit over time because I think it's important to emphasize this, that if you're using word of love, it's nice to use bright color like red or maybe bright orange, right? And, you know, with using colors, colors also encoding certain emotions, certain understanding to our drawing. And we're going to look at love and see word love and see the red color right away. The reaction of, we have a body reaction, we have emotional reaction, right? And when we finish coloring the entire drawing, you can color outside, you can add more lines just to connect with the universal powers, right? We know in Neurographica, the edges of your paper, they're not the end of your drawings because everything goes beyond that. Everything goes to the quantum world of possibilities. So you could always add more paper on each end of your drawing and continue and use your colors and use your lines and then color in a way. You can even add some neurographic art here. You want to add some stars, do it. Do anything possible in order to bring up the positive outcome of the drawing, right? What else you could do when you finish the whole coloring, what you could do something what we call the field lines. The field lines really sending the whole message shown on the paper to the universe. And usually they go across, we're using some marker, right? Close by color to the entire color pattern, right? And it goes just like that, from the left to the right mostly. We're using it, they can cross. What we're doing here by using these lines, those lines have a high voltage charge. What we're saying, let the universe accept what's going on here on this paper, and let the universe to work through us in order to establish everything what we encoded to this drawing to the real life. We're always using field lines in Neurographica, although we're saying it's optional, right? My students and I myself try to use it as much as possible because it really amplifies it, really empowers you to get faster results, okay? So that's why I would suggest using field lines as many times and in many drawings as possible, although we count them as optional, right? So that's how you would finish it with the lines, and they require some rounding, not 100%, right? If they're crossing, I would round them. I would round them a little bit with other lines and objects, and that would complete the drawing, okay? And I would love to see your drawing to be posted to the group, right? Neurographica Americas has 2 groups and 2 languages. I hope in the future we're going to have more languages for Neurographica Americas. One of them that I'm targeting is Spanish language. We have a woman who speaks Russian, English, and Spanish, which is fantastic. But right now only 2 languages, Russian and English. Please post in the English group. I'd like to see what you worked on. I'd like to see what was the outcome of your drawing. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Reach out to Olga. Olga's got beautiful programs in Antinanka. They travel to Japan, they travel to Cuba, they travel to different countries together with kids. It's amazing, totally. They do woodwork classes in New Jersey. So Olga is a wonderful resource for anyone who wants to get connected with our community, who wants to empower children, right? To give them skills of survival, to give them skills and to expose them to the rest of the world, right? And with Neurographica Americas, please join us. We have more classes coming up in March and also April and May. The whole semester we're going to be teaching, and then we're going to break for summer and reconnect back in September for the fall semester. I'd like to thank everyone, and you have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. And please share, as I said. And Olga, thank you very much. I really appreciate you joining us with your wonderful Antinanka presentation at school. Not all schools have walls, not all schools. We totally share this concept. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a fantastic day.